U.S. there are two major parties. Parties: the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Federalists versus anti-federalists. Which we're going to show you right now.
Yeah, but I think I'm just gonna wait till after we present the whole thing, and then I'll show you the video.
About the Federalists and anti-Federalists?
Yeah, it's a short 5 minutes. Josie,
Drinkers Party?
Yeah. These are some of the minor parties or the third parties, like, that the other parties try to keep out of office. American Beer Drinkers Party, Fusion Party, Green Party, American Fascist Party, Republican Party, Feline Party, Family Values Party, and
then like on the picture, there's like the Guns and Dope Party, the U.S. Marijuana Party, the Prohibition Party, the Light Party. It's like all of these. Oh, you wanna go ahead?
Oh yeah. So these are just like examples of how the minor parties, kind of just have views on one or two issues, and then they kind of go away.
Yeah. It's like when you read their name, it's like more obvious what they're about. Like Family Values Party, like, oh, what could they possibly be about? No, it's like obviously about family values, but when you think of Democrats or Republicans, can you guys honestly tell me right now what their like ideologies are?
A lot of different.
Yeah, it changes over time.
Are you going to talk about platforms later then?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I just thought I would throw that information in.
I like these pictures.
Historical basis of parties. It all started during the critical period of 1780s. Thomas Jefferson and the Anti-Federalists refused to ratify the Constitution without a Bill of Rights. Alexander Hamilton and the Federalists were for a strong government and the ratification of the Constitution.
The force of tradition. People are used to tradition so that they don't pay much attention to minor parties.
Yeah. See, they all have the same going on there. Always the same.
The electoral system. The electoral system promotes a two-party system in several ways. One of those ways is single-member districts, and the second is bipartisan. A single-member district, nearly all of the elections are contests in which only one candidate is elected to office, which cuts out minor parties because people consider voting for someone in a minor party as like a wasted vote. A bipartisan is the two major parties will deliberately make laws to preserve and protect the two major parties and make it harder for minor parties to nominate candidates.
American ideological consensus. This country may have been divided by the Civil War, the Great Depression, but it has never been an unbridgeable political division. We are a pluralistic society filled with different people, but ideologically, we share many ideas and basic principles like freedom.
How is that possible? How can you have the most diverse nation in the history of mankind? I mean, so many different people from all over the globe represented in numbers in an unprecedented way, be united behind these ideas. How is that even feasible?
I think it's because it's kind of like an acceptance of different peoples. Yeah, because of because all these people came from different places to seek like a place where they could be themselves without like persecution or just have a new beginning, you know? So when they came together, they wanted to take care of that so that they could keep this like sort of sanctuary where everyone could come as long as like
everyone's equal.
Yeah. And one's rights don't infringe upon like the rights of another person's rights, kind of thing. So I think that's why. Multi-party systems. The strength in a multi-party system is that an electorate is more responsive to people, and a weakness to this coalitions could form, and coalitions are created in which a temporary alliance of several groups come together to form a working majority to control government. This may create instability. So some examples are France, Italy, and Germany. And what they mean about coalition is like all of these parties, they win different parts of like, and different parties are running the government. So they're not just like dominantly Republican at one point, or dominantly Democrat at one point. They're mixed up and they're unstable, and they have to come up with like these compromises. But that's really hard to do. So that's why it's unstable. And then, but at the same time, it does reflect everyone's interests, because like everyone has different interests. You guys see what I'm saying? So different ideas come into the when like in the electoral vote kind of thing.
So if you had to select, if you guys were creating your own national system or political system, would you gravitate towards a multi-party system or a two-party dominant system, and why?
I would say like a two-party dominant system because, like, I think that the watchdog system is like really effective for keeping like the people's needs in mind, and like when it's a multi-party system like that, like the parties could be like butting heads a lot in the government, and like it would just create, like it says, it would create instability, and it would just be like all of the, maybe their ideals would be like changing like all the time, you know, and there would be like a lot of compromise involved.
Yeah. And
So, like who knows if you'd really get what the people want, or if you'd get like this big old mix.
yeah. And actually before a couple of days ago when I read this, like I used to think like, oh, why can't there be like third parties or minor parties? Like why is it always Democrats and Republicans? I mean, what if I become a Democrat and I do it because I want to get in power, but I don't actually believe in the thing, in like the ideologies of like the Democrats? You get what I'm saying? Like I used to feel like I wouldn't be able to like, you know, express what I think is right to do, instead of just like all like this business and negotiations and compromises. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like it was kind of fake in a way. Like some people, some politicians even like go from one party and then they switch to another party just like for power basically. But then like I read about how like it like does have instability, and I was like, well, maybe it does kind of make sense, you know, because we work more like better.
Can I play the devil's advocate and say, well, what if I don't find that either one of those two political parties represents in whole or in part my ideology, and such as maybe going to a buffet, and at a buffet I have multiple choices, and I find a party that I can more closely align with that embraces more of my political ideologies. Wouldn't that be more attractive to a voter, feeling that he or she could participate? If there is going to be a party system, why not participate in a party that more closely aligns with my own individual philosophies?
Well, that's because there are so many different views. Everyone has a different opinion. Not everyone is right all the time. You can't.
But doesn't that breed a good thing? Because now you have to compromise. You have to learn how to work with other people. In order to have a ruling coalition, that means you have to learn to get along with other people, and that creates more dialogue, and it gives me the opportunity to partner with more people, and hopefully we can have a more open debate on the issues. Wouldn't that be more attractive?
Well,
Again, I'm just playing the devil's advocate, the opponent for you guys.
Italy, for example, I think I was going to put it in there. I'm not sure if it. Anyways, Italy has had like a new like political power in government almost every year since World War II, as said in the book. And I find that like extremely complicated, because what if one year one political party was like, oh, let's all go, like, we're all green and we're gonna like lower like coal emissions and all of this, and then the next year they're like, no, like we're gonna raise industry and we're gonna raise coal and we're gonna like change everything, and like I mean that affects a lot of different things, you know. I feel like it's like if it's too much switch back and forth, it's like it could affect too many things like at a rate that's too fast. You see what I'm saying?
Or like how with multi-party systems you have to have like a ton of compromise and stuff, and like really like if you wanted to appeal to everyone's like wants, then you would have like a ton of parties, and then your voice would kind of get lost in the crowd anyways. If there was so many parties, like to appeal to everybody's different views, and so like if they were all compromising and like like you wouldn't have as much say, anyways. Like if you were concerned about like getting lost in a Democratic or a Republican Party, like I think your voice would be lost either way. Like,
That kind of goes with federalism anyway, because like in federalism you have to make compromises. Not everyone has all the power, but like it's like the states and it's the national government. You see, like they share their power and they're two different entities. It's the same. I find it like a similar comparison to
What about Danny?
two-party system.
One-party systems. This is when there's only one party in control. From post-Civil War to the late 1950s, Democrats were in power in the South when one of the major parties wins all the elections.
Yeah. So basically, like during that time, the post-Civil War in the 1950s, it was pretty much like a one-party system in the South because only they would win. The Democrats would only win at that time. And then after that, like more Republicans started winning, and it became a two-party system again in the South.
and like the one-party system has been compared to like a no-party system because it would be like a dictatorship kind of. Like in Germany, how Hitler was like in power and there was like the Nazi Party, and like everyone was expected to be in the Nazi Party. Mm-hmm. So it's like really it takes away the freedom.
So are you saying there's kind of a continuum of one-party systems where it could be more extreme to like the Nazis, or what about, then let me throw out, you brought up some states, what about California? There's one political party which completely dominates all of California. Are you saying we're on that same sliding scale with the National Socialists of Nazi Germany?
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe
It's like,
either.
I don't know. It's like what I was saying about your voice getting lost in the crowd because like in Nazi Germany, when you were being shut down for not being a Nazi, and they would take away everything from you. And like if a party gets strong enough, that is like bound to happen. You know what I mean?
So is that a dangerous thing? Is that what you're saying? Is
Yeah.
it's a dangerous thing to have a one-party system?
Yeah.
So are you worried for California then?
Yeah, because then our freedom might be taken.
Well,
Could be taken.
I personally am not worried for California because I think California is so big that like one part may be like a majority Democratic, but then like another part may be a majority Republican. You just think about like we're in Central Valley, and then there's like people in LA. Like people in LA are totally different from like us. You see what I'm saying?
But do you understand that one political party completely dominates California?
Does it?
Completely dominates it.
But that would mean that like
Is it
most of the
Democrats?
people like it, and then if they were to not like it, then they would like have to move to a state where the other party would dominate. Because there's other states that one party dominates more than the other.
Like,
What other state are you talking about? Let's get specific.
Because there's like
Okay,
states that are Democratic and Republican.
Well, both, yeah, all states have some Democrats and some Republicans,
But
but
one's more powerful.
Yeah.
what I'm just bringing out, you said it's a scary thing when you go to the point where one political party completely dominates the Assembly, the Senate, and the governorship. And in California, we know most definitely in the Assembly and Senate, they have supermajorities, which means that the other political party can't even check their power.
Yeah, see, and that is dangerous because then it kind of, the watchdog part of it isn't as effective if they don't have as many party members, and so they're not like really threatened, and so they can kind of do like whatever they want once they get
Whatever they
strong
want.
enough. Yeah.
New York, like a majority Republican.
No. New York is a very blue state. The New England is very blue. California, Washington, Oregon, very blue state.
Party
And I'm not talking gang affiliate. I'm talking
Party membership patterns. The parties are composed of segments of all types of people in the nation. 2 out of 3 people, as mentioned in the book, follow the same party as their parents. It is true that some groups of people may lean towards one party more, but never the entire group of people. For example, Catholics have voted more often for Democrats in recent decades. And it's also said in the book that the majority of the time that people like that have less income have voted for Democrats, and people that are more like in business and like have higher incomes have voted for Republicans.
So is that fair to stereotype different categories as having a proclivity for certain political parties?
It can turn into a stereotype, but it's like you always gotta remember, just because like, oh, like if I were rich, just because I'm rich doesn't mean I'm automatically a Republican. Or like, I hear a lot of people in California always say like, oh, you're a Republican, like you're terrible, like you're a bad person, like you have no moral, like I don't know. I hear that a lot.
So you
Where do
say
you
that
hang
the
out?
single party control of California has influenced certain people to believe certain ideology?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think so too.
Yeah, like for example, a certain person, I'm not gonna say names, a certain older person always tells me that the Republicans are bad because they hate Obama and that they're racist. And, yeah. Anyways, Daniel.
Things that can influence party coalitions: education, family, income, where we are from, religion, and major events. War, Great Depression, and world wars.
So what, Daniel, what's the single largest influencer of what political party, if any, one will join out of those things that you listed there?
Civil War.
Wait, can you repeat your question?
My question was, you listed a whole bunch of things that can influence a person to align himself or herself with a political party. Which of all of those that you listed is most likely to influence an individual to align himself?
Education?
Pardon?
Family.
Family. Very good.
Good job, Danny.
I think I'm done. Yep, I'm done. Done with this.
Next.
Anybody have any questions or comments or anything?
Yeah, if you guys got any questions, we could surely. And I'm still
I know
gonna
this one. I was like,